She was never asked what she wanted, labeled, judged, and humiliated for her appearance and poverty. The girl became the subject of cruel whispers and cold decisions. In a society that measured worth by beauty and status, she was seen as a burden and embarrassment to be discarded rather than a human being deserving of dignity. When the elders declared that she would be given to a poor farmer as punishment, it wasn't just as they saw it, but spectacle. They believed this fate would teach her a lesson, as if her body and circumstances were crimes she needed to atone for. As she was sent away, her heart carried a heavy mix of fear, shame, and quiet resignation. She expected hardship, mockery, and a life of silent suffering. Every step toward her new life felt like a confirmation of what the world had told her again and again, that she was unwanted, unworthy, and destined for misery. She did not cry out, not because she was strong, but because she had learned that no one listened. What she didn't know was that fate often disguises blessings in the language of cruelty. The man she was sent to was not what people claimed. Beneath his worn clothes and humble speech lay wisdom, patience, and a past filled with quiet success. The land he walked on, vast, fertile, and stretching beyond the horizon, belonged to him. Thousands of acres stood as silent witnesses to a life built not on show, but on substance. Slowly, the punishment began to unravel into something else entirely. Instead of insults, she was met with respect. Instead of chains, she found choice. And instead of a sentence meant to break her, she stepped into a future that would heal her. What the world intended as humiliation became the doorway to transformation, proving that the most unexpected fates often rise from the cruelest judgments. To the outside world, the farmer looked like a man defeated by life. His clothes were faded from years of labor, his hands rough and scarred, his home simple and quiet. People spoke of him with pity, some with mockery, calling him poor, powerless, and insignificant. In a society obsessed with loud success and visible luxury, he was invisible, dismissed before anyone cared to look closer. No one questioned why he lived so modestly, nor why he never defended himself against their assumptions. What they didn't realize was that his humility was a choice, not a consequence. Behind his silence lay a sharp mind and decades of disciplined work. The soil he tilled was not borrowed land, it was his. Acres upon acres stretched beyond what most villagers had ever seen, fertile fields passed down and expanded through wisdom, patience, and careful decisions. While others chased quick riches and public praise, he invested in land, growth, and long-term stability. His wealth was rooted in the earth, not displayed in gold. He understood something many never learn: true power doesn't need an audience. He found freedom in simplicity and security in self-reliance, because he didn't flaunt his success. People underestimated him, mistaking his calm nature for weakness and his silence for failure. Yet when storms came, financial, social, or personal, he stood unshaken, supported by resources he never boasted about. For the girl sent to him as punishment, this truth slowly revealed itself. What seemed like a life sentence with a poor man became an awakening. Through him, she learned that worth is not measured by appearances, and status is not proven by noise. The farmer's hidden wealth was more than land, it was wisdom, integrity, and the quiet confidence of a man who knew exactly who he was. What was meant to break her spirit did the opposite. The girl arrived carrying shame forced upon her by others, expecting harsh words, control, and indifference. Instead, she was met with something unfamiliar: respect. The farmer did not look at her with judgment or pity. He spoke to her as an equal, listened to her words, and gave her space to breathe. For the first time in her life, she was not treated as a burden, but as a human being whose presence mattered. Kindness showed itself in quiet ways. There were no grand speeches or dramatic promises, only consistent actions. He ensured she was safe, encouraged her to learn, and trusted her with responsibility rather than fear. Each small act began to heal wounds she didn't even know how to name. The humiliation she once carried slowly loosened its grip, replaced by self-respect and confidence she had never been allowed to feel before. As days turned into months, transformation unfolded on both sides. The girl discovered strength within herself. Talents buried under years of ridicule began to surface. She learned to work with pride, to speak without trembling, and to see her own worth beyond cruel labels. The farmer, too, found renewal. Her resilience and honesty reminded him of the value of compassion, proving that wealth means little if it is not shared through humanity. What began as punishment became purpose. Dignity replaced disgrace, growth replaced fear, and a future once sealed by judgment opened into possibility. Their lives changed not through power or revenge, but through character, and choosing kindness where cruelty was expected. They rewrote their destinies, showing that respect has the power to transform. Not just individuals, but the meaning of fate itself.